Well, hello everyone. Stan here. It's another Thursday night, and you know what that means? It's time for another episode of Random Encounters, where I take random encounter tables. And those of you who are familiar with tabletop role playing games like Dungeons and Dragons know that that's where that comes from. It's a list of things that could happen, creatures that could be around, people that could be around, and things they could be doing. And I use a random uh, number generator, a, a, a dice rolling app, to randomly pick off those tables and give me a who and a what, and then I draw it for my entertainment and yours, and that's why we're here. So, without any real further ado, I don't know anything to say on this Thursday night. We're October. Can't believe it's October already. Um, and I'm going to start doing some tweaking of the random encounter tables so that they are kind of Halloween based from this point through the month. We'll we'll see fall and Halloween are going to be the general themes. So let's have a look at what we've got going on in the encounter tables for today. So we've got see you got a kind of a fallish, Halloweenish, scary season theme beginning to creep in. I don't know how far it'll get by the end of the month, but that's where we're starting here in the week one. Yeah. So I don't see why we should delay anymore. Let's get going. So I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to go over to my die rolling app. And as you know, I do it once, twice, and third time is a charm to get the roll. So it's once, twice, third time's a charm, and one is our first who, which is Pumpkinhead. Well, right away we're diving right into the deep end here with the fall slash Halloweeny feeling. I don't know. I think Pumpkinhead will be around again before the month is over. Once, twice, and third time's a charm, and five is our what? What is a Pumpkinhead going to get up to? Pumpkinhead on a Zoom call. All right, well, hmm. Look at here. I never duplicated these. You're going to get to see a little more behind the scenes than you usually do. I don't really need to rename these right now, but just for my own edification, I'm going to. This is going to be round one. And we'll deal with the others as we get to them. Round one, we're going to go to the sketch layer. I'm going to put on the blue pencil because that's how I like to do my sketching. And we're going to use the studio pen because that's the brush I like. Turn off that, turn on that, and we're ready to go. And Pumpkinhead on a Zoom call. Trying to think what's especially funny about that, but we'll start with sketch, basic sketch of a desk. Got big long fingers, gangly arms. Doesn't really need to be typing because he's on a Zoom call. Hello, Dave Lemon. Good to see you. Um, Visually, I've got it, but I don't really have a joke to go with it. Pumpkinhead on a Zoom call. Just trying to think of Zoom call related. You know, you're muted. That's often a gag you go along with for a Zoom call, but um, hmm. Well, what if let's see. I'm gonna add a new layer, and I'm gonna blank that one out. What if we do something else? I may go back to that first one, but what if we instead have him here, and we can have the Zoom people saying, sort of like, too close to the camera. Is it Pumpkinhead or Pumpkinhead Spice Girl? No, I think it's just a Pumpkinhead. I don't know how I draw a Pumpkinhead Spice Girl, not get myself into some kind of trouble. Some kind of trouble I don't want. Too close to the camera. Uh, maybe instead of that, it could be something like getting closer doesn't help. You're still muted. Still on mute. Still on mute. Yeah. All right. I think that is so. This being the tag at the end, that there's time to develop that. As long as I think that as long as we are in agreement that this image is where we're going to go with it, then the words come last anyway. All right, let's do it. That's really that's the point of this improv cartooning, is to do it quickly. And it may not end up being the best thing ever, but it'll be pretty good because I don't know, because I said so. Do that. We've got a screen there. Put that down. Put some teeth in the Jack-o'-lantern. Nice long fingers. I don't know why he necessarily needs long fingers, but I kind of associate that. It's a scarecrowy kind of thing. Make sure those lines line up a bit. Good idea there, Dave, with the mouse and keyboard. Maybe give him some stripy pants. All right. Wow, it's turning out okay. I like the image. Still not 100% sold on the joke, but not every joke's going to be worthy of a New Yorker. I think it's pretty funny as it is. And I think we're gonna do the coloring before we go in and uh, put the text in, just to give our minds a little more time to seep in it. A mouse or rat? Oh, rat! I didn't even say. I didn't see the slash. That, you know what? That's funny. That's. I'm not even gonna. Even gonna do pencils. I'll just go in and put a little rat mouse thing on the desk. Good thinking. All right, so let's come back and put some colors on here. It's gonna be uh, pretty straightforward. We're gonna go to the gloaming brush that I like so much. To get that loose, crayony uh, magic markery feeling. We'll put that there, color there. We need some green, some dark green for the stem. And let's see, we'll have him wearing a dark coat. And more light gray pants to go with those pinstripes. like to leave it loose, but with this little area to cover, with so little going on, I think it's more important to fill more of it. And then maybe I can go in and add a little bit to the hand line-wise. Come back to the inking brush and make it feel like this is tenderly, like it's made from the vines of a pumpkin plant. All right, we're gonna come in here. Oh, gotta switch back to the glowing brush. Oop, and switch to the colors layer. Pink for the tail, nose. Blue-gray for our screen. All right. Well, I mean, that's looking lighter gray down there. Then color the desk. That. There's not a lot going on here, but I don't know that the adding our usual little bits of shadow to give it some depth is not. There's not enough going on here for it to make a whole lot of difference, but a little difference. All right, well, come back up to the lines layer. Turn on that. And it's our last chance to see some bit to make make adjustments to our text. But I think this is about it. Right? Oops. See what happens when you use the wrong brush. I was thinking about saying getting closer to the camera doesn't help, but I usually resist the urge to add extra lines that aren't really necessary. You don't want to explain the joke. That's never good to explain a joke. If you are, then you may as well give up on it and try a different joke. Because explaining the joke never works. All right, so turn off the blue lines and add a little stand on the desk, and we've got ourselves a Pumpkinhead on a Zoom call. The rat could be telling him. Oh, the rat could be telling him. Wow. That's funny. That is much funnier. All right, Dave, I'm so glad you're here tonight. You're hitting it on all cylinders. However, that does mean that I'm going to have to adjust the rat. Both color and ink. So let's come back to the colors layer and erase the rat. On the colors layer, and go to the lines layer and erase the rat on the lines layer. And now, since he's actually going to need to tell a little bit of story, I am going to go on to that blue layer and do a quick sketch before I ink it. So we're on the right layer. We're on the right layer. Right. So he's going to be here. Needs to be up a little. There we go. It's good, and then this is going to come down to him. Great. Ho, ho, ho. Good thinking. This is why this is a team sport. I have been doing something similar to this week, in that I have been participating in one of the October's a month where there are a lot of different art challenges going on. October or Inktober and Drawalloween and a bunch of others. I'm doing one which is called Prompttober, sponsored by a website and a online group called Draw or Die, and they're all about the thing I'm always preaching, that drawing is fun, and you should just more of us should just do it just for the fun of it. It doesn't have to be great. Anyway, so my take on those, they've put out an entire month's worth of prompts, but I haven't really looked at it. Each morning as I get up now, I look at what the prompt for the day is, and I try to very quickly come up and execute one of them, or get something down that's maybe more in my style than in the broader Halloween style, or mixing the two anyway. But the goal is for it to happen quickly, to not spend a lot of time on it. All right, so now we're going to come back and go back to recoloring our new star of the show. Maybe that could be one of the things I try and do here for our Halloween drawings, is work the rat into as many different drawings as possible. There we go. Getting closer doesn't help. You're still on mute. Oh, yeah, definitely this one, Dave gets to save. Had a rough idea. All the best things about this came from you, Dave. But here we have Pumpkinhead on a Zoom meeting. I'm not even going to pull those colors back. I think they're nice and strong. You know what? I will go in and maybe add a little bit of shadow on the pumpkin to increase the feeling that he's, a three-dimensional pumpkin. Now it needs to be a little bit darker. There we go. All right, there it is. Done. Thumbs up. Pumpkinhead on a Zoom call. All right, now I'm going to take a pause. How you doing today, Dave? Is any of the rest of the Lemon family there with you, or is just you and I hanging out? I see we've got at least one or two other people in the chats who are, quietly joining us, and that's okay. No one has to say anything if they don't want to. But you are all, of course, welcome to join in and particularly make suggestions as we work through our different random encounters for the evening. All right, so there, we're going to come out of there. Oh no, what am I doing? I'm going to close that up, and we're going to come back and look at our list again, and time to re-roll it. Gus is there with you. Hi, Gus. How's it going, buddy? Send my regards to Linnea when she gets back from her meeting. Right, so we're going to go back and roll the dice and see what we get second time through. All right, so it's once, twice, and third time's the charm. We got 5 this time for the person, for the who, which is a gnome, which we know that if Dale was here, he would love that. And once, twice, third time's a charm, and 3 is what for the gnome, and that is pie baking a pie. Gnome baking a pie. All right. We will now come and go to our second round 4. This is what I do each week after the show. I just copy the file, and here, let's do this, and delete the pictures. And you notice I've got round 1 through 4. When I first started the show, I thought I might get 4 drawings done. Very quickly became clear to me that I may be fast, but I'm not 4 drawings in an hour and a half fast. But I keep it there just in case I need or I want to do an extra one. I have a blank, and that way I can just erase the others and copy round 4 like you saw me do earlier on and rename them, and it's good to go. But we're going to come back and go to round 2, where our theme is the gnome baking pies. When I was looking at these, I thought that having one of the smaller creatures baking the pies might be fun, but I was looking at the imp when that came up more than the gnome. But here, I think maybe to make the gnomes a little smaller than they generally are, just for comedy's sake. Make that just a little bit smaller. And I can put one more gnome up here, giving them directions. And can have them putting the pie into an oven like that. And here I just need to get some loose ideas of what the gnomes are going to be like. You know, as a longtime gnome supporter, it kind of I hate goofing the gnomes up too badly. But as a cartoonist, I want the drawing to be funny. Yeah, I thought about the kitchen gadget, um, but nothing was coming to mind. And in the interest of moving quickly, I've gotten here, and yeah, I mean, there's really nothing that says gnome without something like that. So I'm also pretty terrible at drawing complicated gadgets. Crane. I All right, I'm good. You know what I'm going to do right now for the sake of this, because I think that's very funny. I'm going to copy this layer. I'm going to duplicate this layer as it is, so I can turn one off and come to the second one. And if we grab it and shrink that down, because in order to put a crane on there, I definitely have to make them smaller. So we could get rid of the guy on top for now. We could put some kind of cog thing. Like that. One guy up here shouting directions. Another guy over here pointing in there. Yeah, I really like this. It's gonna be complicated to finish, but let's do it. Drop the pen size down, and we'll go to our lines layer and give that a shot. Where to start? Where to start? I always say that you start with a line you're feeling confident in. There aren't a lot of lines in this that I'm feeling confident, particularly confident in. Maybe I don't want to do that. See, this is the reason why you want to start with lines you're confident in, is because if you don't, then you wind up having to erase stuff. Which is not, there are worse things. And certainly no one working at home should be worried about that. I'm just trying to maximize my efficiency here. All right. So then this guy over here. He's working the gear box here. Yeah, I put those motion lines there and they're getting in the way. This guy here. Maybe this will be this gal here. I think we're going to give her the chef's hat. And she is directing them to put the pie in the oven. Now, let's get that top of the oven situated. Some of this is going to wind up being erased too, I'm sure, but all right. So now on the back end, we're gonna see the counterbalance on there that always feels a little sciencey. Now here, once again, we're going to wind up having to erase a bunch of stuff that we've already drawn in order to get the lead down to the pie. Again, though, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that you have to erase. I'm just a proud, proud cartoonist. Wanting to do everything perfect the first time. When we all know there's no such thing as perfect anyway. If there's anything that proves that, it's gnomes baking pies. All right. This guy here has an apron on. Like so. Hello, Roger. Welcome to the show, my friend. Welcome to the show. We got gnomes baking a pie right now. That's what we're working on. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking that this is where maybe someone wearing a hard hat would come in. Like so. This is turning out maybe better than it had any right to. Now, I think my original inclination to maybe do this with a thinner brush might have helped some, but it would have been also more difficult. So we'll just leave that at that. All right, so we got the gnomes. With a pie. I'm gonna give her like pigtails, ponytails, pigtails. Alaska just once. Does gnome know it's no? Oh man, gnome Alaska jokes. Roger, have you no shame? Have you no shame, sir? Nobody knows the trouble you've seen. know. Now I'm in trouble too. All right. Let's turn off the blue lines and see how that looks. It's not. I'll be honest. I was a little worried about as we were getting into this, but I'm feeling pretty good about where it ended up. Once again, great input from Dave. Dave, I think, gets the gold star this week. Well, there's still one drawing. He could muff it up, or someone could jump in front of him. But Dave, you've hit the nail on the head a few times already. Okay, let's come in here and come to our colors layer. Switch to the gloaming brush and do a little bit of color in here. I was talking to another friend of mine this week who was suggesting to me, we're just talking about ways to be profitable online, things to do, and suggested that as I'm doing more stuff like this, I should develop some Procreate brushes and sell them online. To which I said, well, that sounds like a great idea, except for the fact that I don't ever make my own brushes. And I like the ones that come with the program. And basically we decided I obviously just don't want to get rich. Which isn't true. I'd love to get rich. Maybe I should start learning how to make brushes. But the funny thing is, I like these so much. I can't think of ways I'd want to improve them. And I'm not sure that there's a lot of market for selling clones of the brushes that everyone gets anyways. Now I'm just going to start throwing some colors in here. I'm not even going to talk about why. I'm just feeling it out with my gut instinct. And if it feels right, I'll let it stay. And if it doesn't, well, then I'll change it to something else. We've got a bunch of got a lot to color in this shoe, in this drawing. A lot of little things that need coloring. And don't want to. There's a lot of. So you may have noticed from some of the from the drawings that I do for the thumbnails for these shows that I'm enjoying doing things that have pretty low number of colors involved in them. In fact, it'll often be 3 versions of the same color: a light, a medium, and a dark, and that's the whole thing for most of the coloring. And that works great up to a point. It also means planning a little bit. And clearly, that's not something that we did here. There was no planning that went into this. We just did it. Wait, no, I want that to be the orange. And then the inside of the oven is maybe the last of the things that really matters. Heating elements on. All right, I think, now I'm going to come in here. I'm definitely going to tone those colors all down, at least 5 or 10%. Ooh, we're on 20% there. Is that too much? No, 20%. We'll leave it at 20%. And then I'm going to put a little stand. And we've got gnomes baking a pie. It looks very complicated, but I bet it's delicious. Linnea, you are here. Slides into chat. Pie. Costco pie season. That's a good time of year. We have some good pies at the Costco. All right. So we've got gnomes making pies. I'm satisfied with that. You satisfied with that? Yes, apparently you are. So we've got gnomes making pies. That's our second drawing for the day. Let's do one more, and then we can wrap it up for the evening. Dale. Dale's here. I know Dale is a pie connoisseur. All right, so let's close up round 2. Come back to the tables and go back and roll one more time, and we will see what the dice get us this time. All right, once, twice, third time's a charm, and it's 6. That's adventurers. We know 6 is adventurers on the Who scale. 1d6. All right. Once, twice, third time's a charm, and 3. Did we just do 3? 3 is bacon pies. So we've got adventurers. Once again, we have adventurers and an open call for what we should have them doing. I can roll it again, or I'm more than happy. Dave has given us lots of good ideas so far tonight. Let's see. Rube Goldberg would be proud. Linnea says, about that pie thing, I think Rube Goldberg would tell me that I didn't put in half enough crazy stuff. But he would be kind about it, because I hear he was a terrific fella. All right, adventurers. Alternatively, we could flop them, and we could have vampires apple picking. I don't know. What do you guys think? Any thoughts? This is seeming like we got a wide open last drawing of the evening. And seeing as things have gone so well with input from the crowd, I'm leaning towards giving you guys a lot of latitude. But between the lag in streaming and you having to think of something, I'm going to have to vamp a bit while you think. Double six for apple picking. Come on, six. Laundry and apple picking are the two you like. Um, uh, bu- 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 bum. I'm pondering. I'm pondering who would be funny. I'm also thinking that apple picking is for sure staying on the list if it's not chosen tonight because it's a holiday thing going. Hanging laundry is about to fall off, so this may be our last shot at hanging laundry until the nice weather comes next year. Um, let's see. Yeah, well, Hayride is also known. Now, I said at the beginning of the show, whereas it had kind of summer fun themes that I did all through August uh, and July. I'm going to be doing autumnal and Halloweeny stuff here in October. So Hayride's going to stick around throughout the month, and it will get used one way or the other. We don't have to force it tonight. I wouldn't have been sad if it had come up, but. Uh, um, Ghosts hanging laundry. We got two ghosts hanging laundries. And I'll be honest, I had been thinking, ghosts hanging laundry is kind of funny. Let's fool around with that for a bit and see what we get. I'm gonna go into the sketch, blue inking, turn off the tables, come into the sketch, and let's see what we got going on here. All right, so at the very least, why are you not happy? Oh, because I didn't turn it on. That's why you're not happy. At the very least, we need a laundry line here. We need a setting for our action to take place. Um, I thought about the gnomes doing the laundry, and kind of like we had with um, the pie that uh, them having a contraption to hang the laundry. Uh, so we have a basket with laundry. Betting the ghost thinks it's a lot of fun. I'm going to move that basket so we can do that over here and have the basket of laundry with another ghost in it. Okay, I don't know how much of that is looking like nonsense to you, but it's beginning to make a little sense to me. Um, all right, let's dive into it. Dave says they could be pinning themselves to the line, and I think I'm going to have a separate ghost who's pinning them to the line. Just, I don't know why. I may revisit that thought, but that's what I'm starting with. Okay. So again, I'm starting with lines that I feel kind of confident in. Hmm. The shape of this ghost's head is giving me a little uncertainty. We've got this guy over here doing the same thing, more or less, already hung. Now, come through there with our line itself. And a little lighter on those lines. Tell you what I'm thinking, though. I'm thinking about in a quick setting like this, how much I can pull off making the ghosts feel um, transparent. How much can I pull that off here in this situation? I don't know. I'm going to have a fence in the background because that, at the very least, will give us something to maybe draw to show that you can see through these ghosts. All right, so let's turn off the blue sketch layer. It's looking pretty good. Now comes the trick here. Sometimes the trick is in finding the right line. Sometimes the trick is in finding the right way to apply the colors. And I think that in this one, that's what we're doing with this whole, you know, this whole idea that maybe we can see through them. And I'm going to do that is I'm going to take this color and I'm going to make a lighter version of it. put it behind him like that. So that's what I'm going to do, is instead of drawing those lines, and you can see in the sketch, right, you can see where the blue lines, if I turn off the color, right, you can see these lines through the ghosts, but I don't want to draw them in lines. I want them to be colored. So I will draw them with just colors, and that will make them feel at a lighter color than the color that I use on the main one. Now we're going to have the fence be kind of an orangey color. Again, I'm going to come back there, and I'm going to draw the fence so that we can see the lines, but showing them in colors rather than black line. So that we can see the colors. Okay, and then we're going to put some grass in. I know it's autumn. Probably should have brown grass, but we've already got a lot of brown in this picture. It's already kind of a dully colored picture, so we'll say the lawn's just doing well, unusually well for October. And I'll drop the color of that and put a little bit of the lighter green color back there, so it's like you can see through them. Here we go. That turns out pretty good, I think. So a couple of things left to do. Oops. Drop the size of that brush back down. Maybe I talk about this actually a lot when I was doing um, the Olympic drawings. Is that the interesting thing about white and off white is you can, if you just pick a different color to use as this just for these little shadows, it changes the brain's whole interpretation of that color. Right? There's no difference between maybe a different pen so I can point. There's no difference between this white, and this white, but because this one has an orange color that you can see through it, and this one has a blue color for the shading, and this one has no color going around it, your brain tells you that they're different colors. which is, part of the magic of drawing. Hello, Happy Wolfart. Glad you could join. Late or not. I think that people attending this live stream are like wizards in Middle Earth. They never arrive late, they always arrive when they intend to. There we go. So now we've got ghosts hanging laundry. And that's our, you know what, I'm going to turn the colors down a little bit, just a little bit on this one. 5 or 10%. Yeah, 10%. Just to soften them up a little bit. We've got ghosts hanging the laundry. That was our third drawing of the day. Before that, we had, let me just close this up. We had gnomes baking a pie. And before that, we had a Pumpkinhead on a Zoom call. Boy, look at that. You know what? I didn't turn the colors down on that, and now compared to the others, it just looks so overwhelming. Let me just pull the colors down a little bit. There we go. Better. Pumpkinhead having a Zoom call. And let's say the big winners this week is definitely that Lemon household, who came up with all of the improvements that made these drawings as good as they turned out. If there's anything bad about it, that's my fault. If there's anything good and funny about it, they get the credit this time. All right, so those are our three again. Pumpkinhead doing a Zoom call, gnomes baking a pie, and ghosts hanging laundry. So there you go. About time to wrap this up then. Let's see what to say. What do I want to tell you again? That I'm taking part in the Promptober drawing challenge this month. So if you watch my my social media feeds, Instagram was being a fussy today. It wouldn't let me post today's drawing. But either on Facebook or Instagram, you will find my drawings so far each day. I started the month thinking I wasn't going to do the entire challenge. I just participate here and there. But having gotten 5 days in, I'm now feeling the urge to finish and do the rest of the month. We'll see. I'm not going to put too much pressure on myself. But they're fun drawings, so I encourage you to go on over to the Instagram and check it out. In the meanwhile, while we're here, if you could do me a favor and hit like on wherever you're watching this, whatever platform you're on, if it's a thumbs up or a heart or a like, whatever, it really does me a world of good for the algorithms and getting discovered by new folks. So I'd love that. If you are not already subscribed to me on one of those channels, I encourage you to do so. And if, of course, you really want to get a whole bunch more Stan, you can come over and join my Patreon. I am sending around to patrons, I send roundups with all of the pictures that we do here, including the thumbnail picture. And right now I'm gathering the Promptober drawings, so I'm going to be sending those around. And make sure that if you're one of my patrons, no matter what happens, you get to see everything that I do. I make sure that it just shows up in your inbox. You don't have to go looking for it, which seems to be, I don't know, the least I could do for folks who are backing and supporting me. Anyway, just a thing you might think about. This is the month of my birthday. In case I really love my birthday. My birthday is not anywhere near a Thursday. It's my birthday is the 16th, which is a Monday this time, and I don't ask for gifts. I ask people to wish me a happy birthday. That's what I really like to have for my birthday. But I am going to say I will ask for people to sign up to my social media. I'm not saying that right now it's the Patreons on the screen. I'm not saying I'm asking people to necessarily do that. In fact, I'll take it off. But to subscribe and tell friends, right? If you can help to promote what's going on here and help with the audience awareness, um, that would be a terrific present. That would be the best birthday present I can think of. Anyway, until next time, then, let me just get out of here, come back to the webcam view. Thank you all for joining. Thank you, all of the Lemons, Linnea, and Dave, and Gus. Thank you, Roger, and Dale, and Happy Wolf Art, and anyone else who was watching and just didn't participate in the conversation. That's okay. You're totally welcome. Thank you for coming, and I hope you all will join me next Thursday for another 3 improv cartoons on Random Encounters. Till then, take care. Bye.